Let me take you back to this past summer. Kevin Durant gets traded, Bradley Beal is gone, Phoenix finished the year 36-46. The media had already written the obituary. Booker's prime is being wasted, the Suns' window is closed, time to tank and rebuild. Instead, they're one of the best stories in the league. They have 8 wins in their last 10 games.
Caruso defending. Booker eyes the clock. Suns spreading the floor. Book raising up. Fires. Boom!
Including wins over OKC and the Knicks. And honestly, they might be more dangerous than they were with KD on the roster. So what happened? How did a team that lost a top 15 player of all time actually get better? What changed beyond just the names on the jerseys? That's what we're breaking down today. The identity shift, the statistical proof, the players making it happen. Because this is not the same Phoenix Suns, and the rest of the league is starting to figure that out. Think about last year's Phoenix squad. Talented? Absolutely. You had Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. You had Devin Booker, who can get a bucket against anyone. You had Bradley Beal, at least on paper when he was healthy. On talent alone, that team should have been competing for a top 4 seed. But when things got physical, when games turned into rock fights, when they fell behind by double digits in the third quarter, that team folded. They couldn't win the battles in the paint. They couldn't match intensity against playoff caliber opponents. The effort came and went depending on the night. This year, completely different team. And I don't just mean the roster. The 25-26 Suns have embraced an identity that Phoenix hasn't had in years. They're physical, they're aggressive, they get under your skin and they enjoy doing it. They're feisty and their play style has been described as smash-mouth basketball. They come back from 20-point deficits, games that last year's team would have mailed in by halftime. They dive for loose balls, they trash talk and back it up. They want you to know they're coming for you. They've basically become villains, and they're loving every second of it. And the catalyst for a lot of this? Dillon Brooks. When Phoenix acquired Brooks in the Durant trade, a lot of people saw it as a salary filler, a necessary piece to make the money work. Maybe a decent role player who could guard some wings. What they actually got was a complete culture transplant. Brooks brought that tough edge to Phoenix, the mentality that you're going to make the other team hate playing against you for 48 minutes. Every possession, you're going to be in their face, talking, competing, making everything difficult. And that attitude has been contagious. Brooks and Colin Gillespie have become the ringleaders of this new approach. They set the tone defensively, they bring the energy from the opening tip, and the rest of the roster has followed their lead. Grayson Allen, a guy who used to be one of the most hated players in college basketball, is thriving in this environment. Even Booker has gotten more physical, more willing to mix it up, more engaged on the defensive end. The Suns found something in that Durant trade that's way harder to acquire than talent, an identity, a reason to play hard every night, and once you have that, everything else starts to click. Now here's where it gets interesting.
Running the ball. Now they missed Josh Hart. I mean, that's the one guy.
Booker driving and brings the boom!
Because talking about culture and toughness is easy. Anyone can say their team plays hard. Every coach in the league talks about effort and energy. The Suns actually have the receipts to prove it. Look at the year-over-year improvements in the category that measures effort. The stats you can't fake with scheme or shooting luck. Last season, Phoenix was 26th in the league in offensive rebound percentage at 26.4%. They didn't compete on the glass. This year, they're 5th at 33.9%. That's a 21-spot jump and a 7.5 percentage point improvement. They went from one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in basketball to one of the best. And that happens because guys are crashing the boards instead of leaking out or standing around. Phoenix leads the NBA in steals with 10.8 per game, second in the league for points off turnovers at 22.2 per game. They're turning defense into offense at an elite rate. Second chance points jumped from 26th to 8th. Opponent fast break points allowed went from 26th to 8th, meaning they're not giving up easy buckets in transition anymore. See the pattern? These aren't shooting variance stats. 3-point percentage can fluctuate game to game. Free throw numbers go up and down based on who's getting to the line. But offensive rebounds, steals, transition defense, those come from effort. Those come from wanting it more than the other team. Those come from caring whether you win or lose. To put it simply, these improvements from simply giving a damn. Okay, I'm going to stop you here for a second. If you're still using those regular sportsbook apps, you're getting robbed. I'm serious. Delete it. Delete it now. Because Polymarket have made all of those apps obsolete, and I need to show you why. This week, I'm taking Portland to get the W at Golden State. The Blazers have been playing some good basketball lately. Denny looks like he's going to make his All-Star debut, and I just think Portland will be too fast and athletic for the Warriors. And remember, with Polymarket, you can cash out instantly at any time and only pay 1 cent in fees. Polymarket is legal in all 50 states, and they're so confident that you won't go back to sportsbooks that they're giving you $10 free just to try it. No card, no deposit, nothing. Use my code HOOPS10 and follow the link in the description below for exclusive early access and $10 waiting just for you. Stop letting the sportsbooks take your money. A lot of credit has to go to first-year head coach Jordan Ott. The guy is only 40 years old, has never been a head coach at this level before, and he's completely changed how this team operates on both ends of the floor. His defensive philosophy is built on instinct and communication, rather than just collecting athletic freaks and hoping they figure it out. As one analyst noted, Phoenix's defense works because they have players who react fast and think the game, not because they're rolling out 5 elite athletes every possession. Ott has maximized what his roster can do instead of trying to force them into a system that doesn't fit. On offense, he's found the balance between analytics and letting guys play. He uses the data, but he also empowers his players to make reads and take shots when they're open. Players have called this approach genius and praised his ability to manipulate defenses and put guys in position to succeed. The buy-in has been total, and you can see it in how hard this team competes every single night, regardless of the opponent. But here's the thing, effort against bad teams doesn't tell you much. You can play hard against the Wizards, but it doesn't make you a contender. Lottery teams beat each other up all the time. So let's talk about who Phoenix has actually beaten, because this is where the Suns' resume gets legitimately impressive. Let's start with Oklahoma City. The Thunder are the defending champions. They've got the best record in the league. They're the team everyone is chasing. Phoenix went into that game underdogs, a team most people still weren't taking seriously, and came out with a 108-105 win. Booker hit a 35-foot step-back 3 over Caruso to win the game, the kind of shot that requires both skill and confidence that your team belongs in that moment. Jordan Goodwin, a guy most casual fans have probably never heard of, exploded for 26 points off the bench. That's not a fluke. That's a system that prepares role players to step up when their number is called, and a culture that gives them the confidence to do it. Then you've got the Knicks game. They make you earn everything at the rim, and they're not afraid to put you on the floor. A lot of teams wilt against that kind of pressure. Phoenix matched that physicality for 48 minutes and came away with a 112-107 victory. Dillon Brooks went off for 27 points, hitting step-back threes that had no business going in. Grayson Allen was all over the place defensively in crunch time, making plays when the game was on the line. Booker finished with 31 points and 9 assists, controlling the game without forcing it. Add in wins over Minnesota and San Antonio earlier in the season, 2 more teams that will be fighting for playoff positioning in the West, and you start to see the pattern. The Suns aren't padding their record against bottom feeders. They're beating good teams in competitive physical games. They're proving they belong in the conversation with the top tier of the conference. And maybe the craziest part out of all of this, they're doing it without Jalen Green. They traded a Hall of Famer, and their supposed best young asset hasn't played, and they have a better record than they did last year with KD. That tells you how real this transformation is. So who's actually making this work? Because the beauty of this Suns team is that it's genuinely a collective effort. But there are a few guys who deserve special attention. Devin Booker is still the franchise cornerstone, still the best player on the team, but he's playing differently than he has in the past. The scoring is still there when they need it, 31 points against the Knicks, the game winner against OKC, but he's become a true playmaker in ways he hasn't quite been before. He's averaging 6.4 assists per game, and his impact as a distributor goes way beyond what shows up in the box score. Booker draws more double teams than almost anyone in the Western Conference. Defenses have to account for him constantly, and instead of forcing up tough shots through that attention, he's finding the open man and trusting his teammates to knock down shots. Coach Ott made an interesting comment after a recent win. Book ended with 9 assists, but a lot of those corner threes Goody got were because our superstar passes the basketball. That willingness to make the right play instead of the hero play has been huge for this team. Phoenix is 8-1 in games where Booker records 9 or more assists. When he's facilitating, they're almost unbeatable. He's figured out how to be the best player on a good team, rather than a great player carrying a dysfunctional roster. That's a harder adjustment than most people realize. Dillon Brooks is having the best season of his career at 29 years old. He's averaging over 21 points per game while still taking the toughest defensive assignment every night, guarding other teams' best perimeter player and then going out and scoring 20 plus. That's an all-star level workload. The 27-point game against New York was the latest example of what he can do offensively, but he's been consistently productive all season. This isn't a hot streak. This is who he's become in Phoenix. But more importantly, Brook has become the emotional engine of this team. He sets the tone in the first quarter with his intensity. He's the guy who gets in the other team's face, who doesn't back down from anyone regardless of reputation. That edge has spread throughout the roster. When your best perimeter defender is also one of your most physical players and your most vocal leader, it changes everything about how your team competes. Colin Gillespie might be the most improbable story in the entire league this season. Go back 12 months, and this guy was trying to make it work in the G League. Undrafted out of Villanova, bouncing around, just trying to find a roster spot anywhere. The kind of player who usually ends up overseas or out of basketball entirely. Now he's starting and putting up 13.4 points, 4.9 assists, 4.1 rebounds, and 1.4 steals per game on 60% true shooting. Those are legitimate starting guard numbers in the NBA, numbers that would look good on a lottery pick. But the stats only tell part of the story with Gillespie. He picks up ball handlers 94 feet from the rim. He's not afraid to get physical with guys who have 6 inches and 40 pounds on him. He makes winning plays constantly, the extra pass, the charge taken, the deflection that starts a fast break, the tough shot in the mid-range when they need a bucket. One analyst summed him up perfectly. Colin Gillespie is a winner, plain and simple. If he keeps this going through the All-Star break, he's going to have a real most improved player case. Going from G League afterthought to starting point guard on a playoff level team in one off season is the kind of leap that gets recognized come award season. The supporting cast deserve mention too. Mark Williams has been solid since coming over from Charlotte, 12.3 points and 8.2 rebounds per game, while anchoring the defense and providing rim protection they badly needed. Grayson Allen is playing some of the best basketball of his career and has fully bought into the defensive intensity that Ott demands. Jordan Goodwin provides energy and scoring punch off the bench, capable of going off on any given night like he did against the Thunder. This is a deep team, a connected team. When someone's shot isn't falling, someone else steps up. That's what good teams do. The Phoenix Suns traded away 2 superstars last summer and somehow ended up with something more valuable, an identity. They know who they are now. They're the team that's going to make you uncomfortable for 48 minutes. They're going to get after you defensively, crash the glass, force turnovers, and make you play the kind of game you don't want to play. They've got a first-year coach who has the entire locker room believing in what he's building, a superstar who's learned how to make everyone around him better, and a roster full of guys who weren't supposed to be this good. And the scary part for the rest of the West, they might not even be done improving. When Jalen Green finally gets healthy and integrated into this system, Phoenix adds another dynamic scorer to a team that already has a defined identity and proven chemistry. That's a dangerous combination come April. The rest of the West spent the offseason writing off the Suns, counting them out, assuming the Booker era was headed towards irrelevance. They're not writing them off anymore. This is not the same Phoenix Suns, and by the time the playoffs roll around, a lot of teams are going to wish they'd paid closer attention. So what do you think? Are the Suns on track for a top 6 seed? Comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like and hype button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and check out one of these videos on your screen now.